Hello there, Libra. Welcome into your general weekly reading. This will be for the week of March 31st to April 6th, 2025. So as you can see, I decided to pre-pull an overall good tarot card, and then we'll pull some Gilded Tarot to continue the reading. So jumping right into it, we're beginning with the Six of Fire, the Six of Wands. So I really feel with this card being your main energy on the board, the first out, there's guaranteed victory to be expected. But there's a sense of you being disconnected throughout this week, I'm getting, and this may not be a completely new feeling or way of being, maybe way of approaching or viewing things, but it just feels like I'm getting from this hot air balloon here that even the other ones surrounding it, that there's a feeling of you just being sort of, yeah, again, disconnected and just not as all wrapped up in the potential of something, the imperfections of this and that, even maybe the outcome of this and that of importance or otherwise. And so it feels like that could even be part of the reasoning as to why you're more victorious throughout this week in comparison to the recent past, or maybe rewinding further back for some. Because it feels as if this is not only helping you manifest in a light way, but thinking about you manifesting throughout this week and surrounding it, you're not adding this heaviness to whatever you're looking to manifest, see do better for yourself, or maybe come in for you. And so don't be surprised when there's light and easy, but effort involved victory throughout this week. Does that make sense? But let's shift this over here, and let's do a bit of a layered spread on the right-hand side. Right from the Gilded Tarot. Okay, the Seven of Wands. So Libra, there's going to be a lot coming towards you. It may feel like the week is speeding on by, and then in that case, in those moments, it's up to you to slow your roll, as you may be causing or adding on to that feeling, that energy. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are certain moments where you're needing to stop and smell the roses, you're needing to stop and protect your energy. You're needing to stop and maybe reassess whether it's how you're approaching what's at hand, whether it's the right time to accomplish something or connect with somebody. It could be in regards to whether or not something, if not multiple aspects of your reality in that moment, in that situation, are actually working for you. But it just feels like there's going to be, again, a ton coming towards you, and it's up to you to manage it to the best of your ability, knowing that you have the experiences under your belt behind you, as well as the tools, if you will, the skill sets, the ability to handle and manage everything with a sense of ease within you. But it does feel like you may as well be examining and looking at certain levels of expectation that are just not fair, and to have a lack of fairness and maybe even equality within a situation for a Libra to be committed to is just, it's unreal to you. It feels unacceptable, if that makes sense. I mean, you represent justice, you represent fairness, and it just feels like you're wanting things to be a bit more evenly spread out, if that makes sense. Feeling like for some it's, say for example, a job situation where the expectations are a little bit too heavy on you, maybe one or two other people, when other people are now being able to kind of skate by or just not do as much, or you know what I mean? So it's something of the sort for you. It doesn't have to be work related, but let's continue. You may as well find, going back to the Seven of Wands before we talk about the Hierophant, it's a week where there's a lot of spiritual occurrences, downloads, effects coming towards you. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is quite a spiritual week for you. But I'm also being drawn to the word psychic. So very high priestess energy coming through. You may be psychic yourself, like myself, to an extent or fully. You may be discovering or dabbling in some of this sort of ability. But it does feel like there's a very mystic, very mystical sort of energy about this week period. And I feel like as well, Libra, whether it feels like it fully or at all in certain moments, the stars are aligning for you. And there's sort of a, orb-like reality about this week is what I'm hearing. Because it just feels like you're going to be experiencing and feeling very clearly these, and maybe even seeing clearly, given we mentioned orbs, spiritual beings surrounding you quite consistently. But I do want to say that you are changing more than ever at this time, and it's quite relevant. There's people from the past, maybe at a distance, longing for you, maybe regretting not giving it a go with you, or maybe even thinking about how to make another approach to you, or just maybe, how to get to you somehow and reel you in for another chance. Okay. But I feel like this is partially because maybe they're not 100% satisfied with their current day reality, their situations, but maybe as well they are just remembering how good of a catch you are. It feels very sexual kind of related. But anyways, I do want to say that also there's a big focus upon what you wish to see changing within your day-to-day life, because it feels like there's certain levels of structure working for you to your advantage. Great. Doesn't mean that stays in place and is utilized 24/7 for the remainder of your path moving forward. But it feels like, great, okay, let's notice and reap the rewards from the structure and even the flexibility, the spontaneity, I can never say that word, the spontaneous energy, how this is all working to your advantage, helping you in other aspects of your life, but then what isn't working? And then let's make a change, because it feels like you forget that you are in the driver's seat in certain ways. And one way is how you keep giving in to temptation or utilizing this or that or committing to this or that isn't working for you, at least not at this point. But I'm being drawn to the color gold. It's sort of in this imagery, and it is in this one, and it absolutely is, especially in the center part of the Hierophant, where they're saying you're golden. There's something about reassurance and maybe even confirmation coming throughout the week to help you feel this sort of shift moving forward, or the shift forward, better put, because, and this may come through, I'm hearing readings, whether you're pulling your own cards, other people's, you may be purchasing one, you could be reading words, stuff of that nature to assist you with that. Again, it's a very spiritually connected week, but it does feel like Spirit's saying you're needing to feel confident in regards to the fact that things are going to work out for you exactly when and how they're meant to. No exception. Look at that. The High Priestess, as I was going to pull this way, but I just happened to flip it around. So we're taking this for the board. You gotta love when Spirit speaks through me and whatnot and channels these messages, and then the card comes out to just say, do you see? Do you see what I'm saying? And so there's something about that for you as well. Say you're spoken through, or someone else is spoken through for your sake, or you get a message somehow otherwise. And it could be multiple times in different ways, or the same way to come through over and over a span of time. But then Spirit's saying, we can say what we have to say, and say it maybe multiple times in different ways once again. But if it doesn't get through to you, if you don't fully believe it, if it doesn't digest to a state of confidence even, then it's quite worthless, right? For the most part, or it just doesn't give us the end result that Spirit's aiming for. And so it feels like this is meant to be a week where Spirit says, digest this first and foremost and feel confident and reassured moving forward in regards to one, if not multiple aspects of your life, your future. But it could be as well that you're needing to gain this reoccurring message once again, where Spirit is saying, so what if it took multiple times to get through? As long as it gets through, that's all that matters. Because it feels like you're needing to just take a deep breath and maybe trust a bit more, all right? Because it feels like you may, and I can relate to an extent, you feel like you're trusting in the mystery, trusting in yourself and your path and Spirit, pretty damn well, at this point along your path. But then if you were to take a step back and look at maybe from an outer body perspective, from Spirit's perspective, for example, if you were to look at yourself and the way you're living, the way you're feeling, and whatnot, there's room for improvement in regards to trust, all right? But also, I wouldn't be surprised if some drawn to the reading are finding that this is a week where your trust for other people, partially or fully, maybe even the lack thereof, which completely, is taking a highlight. Some of which really need to selectively, due to your intuition and Spirit, again, selectively, open up to certain people, because it feels like you may be somebody who chooses to then, even when thinking you're trusting your intuition, you want to or choose to open up to somebody, and then it backfires to an extent, again, if not fully. And so there's something about that for you. It may be a week where there's somebody you're meant to be connecting with, all right, a bit further, if not, this could be a brand new connection, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're being prepared to further certain connections of different types in the future, as well as welcome in the manifestations, co-creations, and gifts of new soulmates, okay? And they're saying it's not a bad thing to feel like a fish out of water with certain people, but it just feels like you're going to be thinking about the familiar, the comfort, the past, the future, the potentials, you know what I mean? In Spirit saying, we need you to be feeling a little bit maybe out of place for a sake of lessons and realizations and change otherwise. I want to put this on the board. We're going to put this one over here. Okay, so there's some sort of victory in regards to a connection, even if they're further away than you'd prefer, or you thought they'd be, or you thought you would be, if it's more so your distance from them. I am getting the number 2 is significant. I saw that on a notification, as well as right here on the 2 of Cups. But shifting on forward, keywording, you have to do what's right for Libra. And I say this all the time, quite often in Libra collective readings. But for some reason, it's like in different, let's rewind so I don't say the word like. It's a habit I'm trying to cut out. It feels to be that you gain this reminder and you know this, right? And then you then choose to not do what's right for you for the sake of stability, comfort, intake, for the sake of not wanting to risk the past repeating or something, detrimental taking place in the future. And they're saying that is not a way to live. You know what I mean? Of course, be strategic. Of course, be smart and at least partially calculated about your moves. But it doesn't feel like Spirit's saying that it's as if Spirit's saying that we don't feel you are 100% in the right state of being to do what's right for you, if that makes sense. I felt like a completely different message. Anyways, just prepare to shift things more in your favor, all right? And it's going to involve leaving this and that behind. The Page of Wands, because it does seem to be a week where you are gaining positive, passionate messages. I feel like somebody, if not multiple people, are very into you. It also feels like you're re-examining certain connections, say coworkers, friends, acquaintances, feeling maybe a change of heart to an extent. It almost feels like as well it's a week where influence is spreading like wildfire. Now this could be talking about something like this or other social media influencers, right, in an obvious sense. But it also feels like communication, acts, people acting upon this or that, or helping maybe for sake of assistance in the future. I don't know why I'm getting that. Anyways, the point is, it feels like there's maybe certain people that are being influenced, affected in one, if not multiple ways by somebody else within that same situation or within that same circle or in their life otherwise. And then they're acting differently with you. And so there's something about that for you. Let's put this one over here to keep pulling for Libra. 1414, look up the angel number meaning, as well as 1413. But the Knight of Wands, because that being the third wand, actually fourth wand energy, fire energy on the board, you're just charging forward in a very slow and steady kind of way. So it may not be feeling like you're charging. It may just feel like you're kind of coasting forward while putting in the effort when need be. But you're quite passionate throughout the week. It almost feels like you're holding back when it comes to the majority of the passion that you're feeling at this time, because it's not the right place, the right time. It's not going to be worded correctly or digested correctly. You maybe just feel like it's nobody's business to understand or to hear. Okay. I can definitely relate. But the Five of Pentacles, because the week really highlights maybe a sense of, okay, I heard misawareness. I don't think that's a word, but being aware of something incorrectly up until this point, or maybe rewinding a bit further back. Anyways, it might be as well a week where you find a sense of lack or a need for more of this or that starts to become a huge focus, but as well where you feel you're not fitting in. It's as if you might as well see certain connections, people, types of energies that you do fit in with occasionally or here and there, but then here and there occasionally as well, you don't fit in with them. I feel like it's like you're in this middle sort of uh, stage or this in between stage where you're still continuously changing, and it just feels like even new connections, new experiences, new situations or opportunities even just feel a little bit off to you because you're growing and changing, developing so much as a soul. And I feel like part of which is spiritually. People seem to not get you as well. When I was pre-pulling this, I did get the moon card, but the King of Cups coming out because it feels like you're an emotionally advanced soul. Look up the spiritual meaning of, a starfish and a seahorse, but it also feels like you have the ability to sail on forward when the time is right. But it feels like yet again another preparation period for you where you can't help but feel like things are shifting and changing for you within and outside of you. And I know I say that a lot in these readings, but with the Two of Wands, it feels like you're looking forward to the future, to the horizon. I'm hearing the tunnel moving forward and wanting to better understand, wanting to acquire sooner, quicker, but needing to trust in divine timing, needing to once again trust in yourself, in the mystery of the path that you walk. All right, and it feels like this is a time to gain for you, but it may feel like you still are thinking about what you don't have, all right, who you don't have maybe, or where you have still yet to get to, okay? But overall, Spirit's saying you don't begin your reading with the Six of Fire, the Six of Wands without being a week of guaranteed victory. So expect and even create more of just that. All right, Libra? So this is quite a long weekly reading. I hope it was truly helpful. I'm sending you so much love and light.